Ladies, gentlemen, and courageous legends. Andy here. I went from depressed and suicidal to living a life of abundance and joy. If I can do it, you sure as hell can too. So, recently I did a video saying, tell me what you're struggling with. I'll answer all your questions in some videos. I did a whole bunch of those videos, and a whole bunch of you replied. The people that I had done some of the videos for, you replied. So, let's go through and read some of these, and we can hear from these people themselves and how they maybe took the advice, what they worked on, some extra stuff that they gave. So, this was on a video that I did called Porn Induced Erectile Dysfunction is Ruining My Life. That was how a guy felt, and he'd felt a lot of erectile dysfunction, and he had gone off porn for a couple of years, but then he'd gone back onto it, and he was beating himself up. He was very hard on himself. And essentially, what I said in the video, the advice that I gave him was, how would you treat your best friend if he had had a little bit of a slip up and gone back to porn after being away from it for like a year or two? You'd probably be kind. You'd probably be compassionate. You'd probably say, bro, that's okay. Don't stress, man. Get straight back on the wagon. You'll be fine, dude. Don't beat yourself up. It's all good. But we can often really struggle to give that advice to ourselves. We are often our own worst critic. And so he was being very hard on himself in the original video. And most of the advice I gave him was just, you're doing a good job, brother. I promise it's okay. It doesn't have to be this big emotional, theatrical thing of like, no, I've fallen off the wagon. I've gone back to my addiction. No, it's just like, all right, I had a slip. Let's get straight back on track. And so if you want to, you can go back and watch that original video that I did to see some of the other advice that I gave him. And he replied to that video and he said, I just finished it, as in I finished watching that video. You are very much right in that I was highly emotional when I wrote that. Yeah, I could tell, brother, because yes, as it was only around a day or two after I had stopped with my binge relapse and it was very raw. Yeah, often when we're very emotional, we are not particularly rational, are we? We are also very tempted to be incredibly hard on ourselves when we're feeling all of that raw emotion. Like if we think we made a mistake or we think we screwed something up or we think we should have done something better, we can often be very, very, very angry, bitter, raw, crying, all of those very strong emotions. And we're not always very rational. The good news is you can work on your rationality. You can study Stoicism. You can practice it. You can do what's called cognitive behavior therapy. You can read some Byron Katie. You can read some David Hawkins. You can take my Play to Win video course. Like there's so much shit out there about how to be more rational and less emotional. But yeah, it's okay if you're emotional sometimes. So it goes on to say, I am now 2 weeks clear from porn again. Amazing, brother, you absolute legend. Look at you kicking ass. Straight back in there. And if I were to write it now, as in write his original comment or his original post, it would be very different and probably shorter. Yeah, because you wouldn't have all of that emotionality. This is why I've said many times, like, you don't have to take your emotions seriously. You can still notice your emotions and you can work with them and figure out what to do about them and figure out how to heal them and process them and all of that. But emotions are often just not very truthful. They're not very factual. They're not very realistic. And part of his original post that he made when he was asking for advice in the first place, he was being very emotional and he knows that. He admitted that. And he was saying things like, I've screwed up forever. I'm off track forever. Like I've fucked up completely. I've thrown away years of progress. And it's just like, that's not even remotely fucking true. Now we have the proof that it's not true. He's now 2 weeks away from porn again, like 2 weeks clean from porn. And everything that he said was literally not true. It was false. It turned out to be an over emotional exaggeration of reality. You know, he was saying, I've fucked up years worth of progress. Clearly, that's not true. He's now 2 weeks clear again or clean again. So, like, literally not true. So often when we're very emotional, we are so irrational. And I think all of us know that. I think basically every human being on the planet knows, yes, when I'm very emotional, I'm not always rational. We all know that. It's one thing to know it. It's a whole other thing to say, okay, so in the moment when I'm highly emotional, how am I going to calm down? How am I going to be a little bit more clear-headed? And there are so many different things you can do. Stoicism really helps. Something that I've found really helps is write out a list of like 10 or 15 almost like strategies or techniques that you can use to calm yourself down. And you write these down ahead of time when you're feeling, you know, rational and sober and calm and happy, write down 10 things that you know make you happy. It could be things like, I like going for a walk, that helps me clear my head. I have a friend called, like, I don't know what your friend's name is, Tom. And when I talk to Tom, he makes me feel rational. He's just a nice, chill person. My family makes me feel good, so I could call them. I could watch a bunch of YouTube videos that really cheer me up. You know, one of my favorite channels that I like to watch, and I have literally watched this channel when I'm feeling sad or emotional. It's called The Dodo. This channel here, it is literally a channel. Look at that, 16.5 million subscribers. Very popular channel because of the content that they do. It's just stuff like this. It's just like cute little animal videos. And they're like, this dog grew up in a cage and then we released him and now we look after him and now he's happy. This stray kitten was all sad and scared and then we raised it and now it loves us. You know, look at this stray dog and he became best friends with a bunny rabbit. These rescued raccoons. Look at this like little kitten that loves his daddy. Look at this little boy that loves his doggy. Like, it's just nice, fucking happy, chill, sweet little videos. And there's so many channels like this on YouTube that will be there to cheer you up. And so that's something you could do ahead of time. Get a list of YouTube channels that you know make you feel really good and make you feel happy and uplifted, and they cheer you up when you're feeling a little bit down, and have that shit ready to go. Save it as a playlist, or like just write these channels down so that when you are emotional and you're not really thinking rationally, you already have that list pre-prepared so you don't have to think, and you go straight there and you go, I know this will cheer me up. You could find a bunch of movies that make you feel better. You could come up with a bunch of music that makes you feel better. You know, on my Spotify, like my own Spotify, I literally have a bunch of playlists already ready to go. This one here, Namaste Yoga, is just like a bunch of yoga music. Vaporwave, I fucking love Vaporwave. Gentle classical music, that puts me in this calm, peaceful mood. And then I have this playlist here, which is my own playlist of like 100 songs or so. I've called it emotional songs, but maybe a better phrasing for that would be my feel-good songs, or songs that make me cry happy little tears of joy. And I have my own little playlist of a bunch of songs that I've stuck in there over the last couple of years. I'm always adding to it whenever I find a song that really makes me feel good. And so I have that playlist there. I listen to this playlist like multiple times a week. You know, if I'm ever feeling a little bit down or I'm feeling sad, I just play this bad boy and then I start feeling better. And so you come up basically with all of these different strategies of things that you can do ahead of time to make yourself feel a little bit better. And you write them down or you have them saved somewhere so you can go to them when you're emotional. And that's just one of the easiest ways of starting to move away from those strong, almost like stormy emotions that we can feel, and start to make yourself feel a little bit better. In other words, basically what you're showing yourself is, even when I'm in the middle of that emotional storm, this too shall pass. I will eventually feel a bit better. He goes on to say, it's really crazy how we treat and talk to ourselves versus how we would talk to a friend. Yeah, and it's not that it's crazy. Like, we know why we do it. It's because we're in our own head and we're acutely aware of our own perceived flaws, and we're not aware of other people's flaws, you know, because we're not in their head. We don't know what their internal monologue is. And so we just have more information about ourselves, and therefore we can be harder on ourselves. If you knew everything that was in someone else's head, you'd probably be just as hard on them. But we are in our own head. We spend most of our time up there. And all of us, you know, if you're watching this channel, we're all here to improve. And sometimes when we're on that mission of trying to improve and do better, we then make a value judgment about where we currently are. Understand that the concept of improvement, like the fact that you want to improve and be a little better and achieve more and become more and all of that, that doesn't mean you're bad right now. It means that you're okay right now, you're beautiful right now, you're great as you are right now, and we're just working on being a little bit better. We're working on adding a little bit more in the future. But that doesn't automatically mean that right now you're a failure and you're a piece of shit and you have to beat yourself up and you're a fucking loser and all of that. No. It means that we accept ourselves as we are right now, and then in the future we'll be even further along, and we start working on that right now today with some little baby steps. So he goes on to say, I would be so much nicer and supportive if someone were to say all of this to me than I was to myself. Yeah, of course. Saying that it's not all thrown away progress, which was what he originally said. You know, I've thrown away years worth of progress. No, you haven't. You just looked at porn for a week. That's it. Just stop looking at porn and then you're back on track. That's it. And he did that. He's now 2 weeks away from porn again, or 2 weeks clean of porn. So boom, done. You didn't throw away the progress. Saying that it's not all thrown away progress and to just get back on the horse, so to speak. Yeah, that's the advice that you give to someone else. Wentworth Miller, an actor, wasn't he the guy from that like TV show Prison Break? I'm gonna Google this. Yeah, he was. Let's show him on the screen. This guy here. He was from that TV show Prison Break. Has he done anything else? Oh, he has. He's been in lots of stuff. Good man. Holy shit. Very busy boy. Cool. Anyway, that guy, Wentworth Miller, said once in an interview that if he talked to his friends the way he used to talk to himself, he wouldn't have any friends. Yeah, I've also heard that phrased like this. If I talk to other people the way I talk to myself, they would punch me in the face. And like, yeah. So I think it's just that because we ourselves are directly responsible for whatever we do wrong, I'll let that sit there, but something for you to play around with maybe in the future is there anything that you're doing wrong, or is that just another value judgment? Play around with that idea. That might not resonate with you. That's okay. But yeah, that just feeds that horse of self-flagellation. You know, you're adding to that when you say, I did something wrong. I shouldn't have done this. Really, you were just doing the best that you could. That's what all of us are doing. We're trying to do the best that we can in every moment. But yeah, play around with that concept if you want to. And if you don't want to, don't. But we are directly responsible for whatever we do wrong or what we say is wrong, and we suffer the consequences. And so it's difficult to have self-compassion. And because of the flagellation, narcissism stuff you mentioned, yeah, you can almost say it like this. Self-compassion is a habit that you build, and because it isn't a habit yet for you, that's why. So it's not that it's difficult. I would push back against that and say, self-compassion is not difficult. You're just out of practice. You've never really done it. And so it's not difficult. Once you actually get started, you're like, wait, this is easy. I just treat myself the way I treat other people because I'm not that special. And if I would be nice to someone else, I just do that to me. You do that a couple hundred times and you're like, wow, this is easy. It's not difficult. It's just you're out of practice. Like, I promise it's really not difficult. It feels like it now because you haven't done it before, or you haven't done it very much. And so just like everything that we haven't done much, we give ourselves permission to suck. We do not have to be perfect with our self-compassion. And we just work on treating ourselves a little bit more the same way that we treat other people. Just do that a little bit more each day. Just work on treating yourself the same way you treat other people. Do that 1% more each day. Aim to improve a little bit over time. But you're already working on that. You're already doing a good job. I'm still on track and I'm looking to move. I'm doing interviews right now and such. I just have to make sure that when I do eventually get intimate with a girl, if my erectile dysfunction does happen to strike, I need to try my best to handle it well. What a whole bunch of horse crap right there, my good friend. And I can call you out on your bullshit and say that to you now because I know you'll take it well. You've just proved it. If you're in my coaching group, we would all be having a big laugh right now. I'd be like, you are so full of shit. And everyone would laugh and go like, what are you talking about, Andy? Why is he full of shit? Look at this. I have to make sure that when I do get with a girl, I need to try my best and I need to handle it well. Calm the fuck down, son. You're really not that special. You do not need to be perfect. What would you say to your best friend? If your best friend was like, bro, I just have to make sure the next time I'm with a woman, if my dick doesn't work, I need to handle it well. I need to do my fucking best. What you would say to your best friend is like, bro, if you get erectile dysfunction, that's okay. What if you just tried being honest with her and saying, hey, sometimes I get erectile dysfunction? What if you take off the pressure that you have to handle it well? What if you handle it poorly and you cry and you feel weird and that's okay? You show yourself a bit of compassion. You were trying to do your best. What if you take off this pressure to make sure you handle it well and you make sure you do your best? No. You're going to do your best regardless, bro. That's all that we are ever trying to do anyway. And if you don't handle it perfectly, that's okay. The goal here is not to be perfect. The goal is to aim to be 1% better than you were in the past. So you might say, I want to handle erectile dysfunction 1% better than I did in the past. That's it. And if I still feel weird and I'm awkward about it and I try and hide it from her and I feel a bit strange and weird and all of that and I get emotional, that's okay. Let me be 1% more stoic than I was in the past. Let me be 1% more honest with her than I was in the past. And so you can take all that pressure off, bro. This is the opposite of giving yourself permission to suck. You did the classic thing, and lots of guys do this. This is not you. Lots of women do this too, where they're like, all right, I have to do a good job next time I'm in the bedroom. And Andy said this self-compassion stuff can really help. So I have to make sure I do a really good job of self-compassion. It's like, My friend, that is the opposite of self-compassion. Self-compassion is saying, I will do my best with the self-compassion, and if I'm not perfect, that's okay. And if I sometimes beat myself up, that's okay. I don't have to beat myself up for beating myself up. So, yeah. By the way, you're doing a really good job with all of this, but yeah, you can just take a little bit of that pressure off, my bro. If you get into the bedroom and your dick doesn't work and you don't handle it as well as you think you might be able to in the future, that's okay. You're a work in progress. Sometimes we get emotional. Sometimes we beat ourselves up. Sometimes we get embarrassed and full of shame and we feel guilty and we feel angry and we feel all of those emotions. You are a human being. You are doing your best. I promise you that you'll do your best. It's funny that you wrote, I need to try my best. You're already trying your best, bro. That's what this is. Everything you've written here is you already trying your best. So, like, that's going to happen regardless. You don't need to force that. You're making it this extra condition, this extra pressure. I have to try my best, which makes it a lot harder to get an erection when we go, I have to make sure I try my best and I handle it well. It's like, you already know that's just you beating yourself up and putting pressure on yourself, which makes it harder for your dick to work. And so, what you can do is you can kind of play around with this right now and say, what will I do if my dick doesn't work? Like, play that out in your head. Let's go down that a little bit, go down that pathway right now. If my dick doesn't work in the bedroom, which me, Andy, sometimes my penis doesn't work in the bedroom. I get nervous too sometimes, or it's less about nervous. It's more that I'm stressed sometimes, or I didn't sleep well, or I have a lot on my mind, or whatever it might be. Or I just don't feel like I'm in a sexual mood. And my dick doesn't want to show up. That happens sometimes. Maybe I jerked off to a lot of porn that week, and then, yeah, my dick doesn't work. I'm going through the same journey that you're going through, my man, with my own relationship with pornography and letting go of it and not using it as much. And so if I'm in those moments where my dick doesn't work, what I do is I'm just honest and I say, hey, I'm really stressed and my penis isn't going to work. Or I'm really tired, or I looked at a lot of porn this week and I'm working on looking at it less, but yeah, I feel like I'm just a bit tired. And then what I do is I say, let's focus on winning. We're not here to focus on the things that we don't want. We're not here to worry about like, oh, my dick doesn't work and I wish it wasn't like that. Who cares? Let's focus on what we want. And what we want is to have a beautiful, intimate experience with the partner or partners that we're with. We want to have a great time. And so I focus on that. I say, let's have some cuddles. How about I tie you up and I blindfold you? I use the toy on you. I'll get Imogen to join in as well, obviously. We date and sleep with women together. You guys can make out. Maybe we'll get Imi to put on a dildo, like a strap-on dildo, so she can fuck you. Maybe I'll tie you up and make you feel really good, tease you, edge you. We'll have a great time. And I love seeing you in pleasure. That brings me a lot of pleasure, even if my dick isn't hard. It doesn't matter. I'd love to go down on you, finger you, kiss you, make you feel good. And we'll have a snuggle, then we'll hang out and spend the rest of the day together. Like, I focus on what I want. And so the same thing here, brother. Take off some of that pressure of like, if my erectile dysfunction does happen to strike, I need to try my best to handle it well. I have to make sure. Like, bro, no. Play it out in your mind. Okay, let's say the supposed worst case scenario happens. The thing that you are so utterly terrified of happening that you feel like you need to have contingency plans for. I got to try my best to handle it well. I got to make sure. Let's say that worst case, or you call it the worst case scenario, does happen and your dick doesn't work. And no matter what you do, that penis will just not get hard. Now what? What would you do then? Come up with some ideas of things that you would do that would ensure, or you don't have to ensure, but like work towards her having a good time and you having a good time. In other words, what other things can you do? Foreplay, kinky stuff, tying her up and making her feel good. Go to an adult sex toy shop together, buy some vibrators and play with vibrators with her and watch her get off, which is incredibly fucking erotic and fun and can be a very intimate experience. If you give her a big cuddle and you're just like laying there and cuddling her and gently caressing her face and telling her that she's beautiful and whispering in her ear, wow, you're so fucking hot. You're such a good girl for me. Like, you whisper all that shit while she plays with a vibrator and gets herself off. That's incredibly intimate. Your dick doesn't need to even be involved. Again, I say this a lot. It's my favorite little joke that I like to say. It's not even a joke. There's some seriousness in this. Guys are so obsessed with cock when it comes to erectile dysfunction and performance anxiety. It's like they're just so cock obsessed that all that we can think about sometimes is cock. We're like, my cock isn't hard. Cock, 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 cock. What if there's there might be this beautiful woman in your bed and You're just thinking about your dick and how it's not hard. What about her? Focus on her. Focus on her having a nice time. If your dick isn't going to get hard, that doesn't mean that she doesn't get to have fun as well. Why shouldn't she have fun? There is no should, but you're allowed to let her have fun too. And so go through that, my friend. Your big, scary, worst case scenario that you're terrified of right now. What if I get erectile dysfunction again? Literally say to yourself, okay, what would I do? How would I work towards what I want and what she wants, which is for us both to share some intimacy, some connection, some sexual experience. Maybe we practice some kinks together. Maybe I go down on her for an hour and get really good at oral sex. Maybe I practice seeing if I can make a woman squirt, which is something that I would say 90% of women are capable of squirting, but there's a very specific technique on how to do it. I'm not going to demonstrate here on YouTube because I don't know if you're allowed to do that kind of content on YouTube. But there's a very specific technique. You can Google it. About 90% of women, you'll be able to make them squirt if they're comfortable, if they're relaxed, and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, you could get really good at all of that. So it doesn't have to be this big bad thing if your dick doesn't work. In fact, like I said, dude, my dick doesn't work so often. I just don't care. I don't even think the women notice. Like, I don't even think they give a shit because it's just like we focus on other stuff. I give them a great sexual experience. I don't even care if my penis doesn't get hard. I don't see it as a bad thing. And I certainly don't put pressure on myself that it has to be hard. Otherwise, something bad will happen. Saying something bad will happen is just a story. Nothing bad happens other than our stories about it. So he went on to say, thanks a lot for the response in such detail. I hope others who may be in a similar situation can benefit from it too. Probably what they would benefit from the most, my man, is your courage, honestly. The fact that you were this open and honest with all of us, that's probably been quite inspiring to a few people, dare I say it. Like, you did a really good job opening up about this. Nothing but massive props to you, my man. Like, you're incredibly fucking courageous. This level of courage that you've shown all of us, I would be this honest to any women or with any women that you date. Like I said, anytime my dick doesn't work, I'm just like, hey, my dick's not going to work. I'm tired. Let's do other stuff. And they're like, okay, cool. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm just tired and stressed. Okay, is there anything I can do to help? Not really. Just lay down, be a good girl for me, close your eyes, let me tease you. I'm going to blindfold you. I'm going to blow your mind. And she's like, yes, daddy, or yes, sir, or yes, master. Like, and then we have a great experience. Like, it doesn't matter if your dick is hard or not. Like, I promise it really doesn't matter. But being honest with women helps a lot because then you get practice at communicating to them that it's not a big deal. And at first you might not feel like that, but the more you say it to, women, eventually you realize, wait, this isn't a big deal. And then they receive that. They feel that energy of you saying it's not a big deal. And they're like, oh, I guess it's not a big deal. And then boom, you have fun together. So it's only a big deal if you make it a big deal. And you saying, I have to make sure that I try my best to handle it well. That's making it a big deal. But if you just go, no, it'll be fine. If my dick doesn't work, that's cool. We'll do foreplay. Women love foreplay. God knows they've been complaining to men since the dawn of time. I wish men would do more foreplay. So it could be the most beautiful gift to you and her if your dick doesn't work. If you get erectile dysfunction, it's funny how you use language like it's a war. And we do this a lot. If erectile dysfunction does happen to strike, it's like going to strike me. It's going to hit me. It's a war. Ah, fuck, I got to defend. No, bro, this could be the most beautiful gift that the universe or your dick is handing you. An opportunity to become a foreplay god. Bro, like that's not getting struck. That's not a strike. That's not getting attacked by erectile dysfunction. It hasn't struck. No. Bro, you've been handed a beautiful gift. I'm grateful for all the times I had erectile dysfunction because, yeah, it kind of forced me or gave me an opportunity to work on my foreplay. There's a reason that I'm really good at foreplay. Wow, that was very humble, wasn't it? But I've learned a lot about foreplay. That's a more humble statement there. How? Because my dick didn't work a whole bunch of times, bro, from porn just like you. And so then it was like, all right, okay, my dick's not going to work. Can I learn how to go down on her and give her an orgasm with my tongue? Can I learn how to make her squirt? Can I buy 100 sex toys and learn how to use them all? Can I learn intimacy and connection? Sometimes women just want to fucking cuddle, bro. Like, go ask 50 women, yo, are there any times where you don't want sex with your boyfriend or your partner, but you just kind of want to cuddle? Every woman on the planet pretty much is going to be like, yeah. Sometimes girls just want to fucking cuddle. I mean, there's fucking memes on this shit, bro. Just like look up cuddle buddy meme. Look at this, cuddle buddy needed desperately. Do you know where I could find one? Now hiring a cuddle buddy. 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. No benefits. Inquire within. Seeking cuddle partner, must enjoy cuddling, movies in bed, napping, with possible kissing. And you might say, I don't want to just fucking cuddle, I want to have sex. Fine, whatever. But my point is, there are so many women out there that would love to just fucking cuddle you, and you might find that you enjoy it too. You end up just having a bit of a cuddle, you do some intimacy, you finger her, you do some of that beautiful kinky stuff if that's what you're into. You guys have a great experience together, and you realize your dick wasn't really that special. Like, your dick really isn't just that important. I keep saying it, but we guys are so cock obsessed. We just are. Like, fucking hell, man. Like, we could all go to pride parades with how much we're all cock obsessed. And shout out to anyone who might be gay. Nothing against gay people, but fuck, man. We're more obsessed with cock than like gay guys are. I swear to God. And so if you can put a little bit less objectification on yourself, in other words, realize that you are more than just your penis. You know, it's funny that women always say, we're the ones that get objectified. It's like, yeah, but guys do too. Guys will objectify themselves down to just a penis, that little fucking flesh dildo, you know, down near your groin. And you say, this is what I have to offer. And if this thing isn't hard, then I can't do anything. It's like, bro, you could cuddle, you could finger her, you could tie her up, you could go down on her, you can make out with her for an hour, you can make her call you sir or master or daddy and just spend forever teasing her. You could give her a massage and bring her to orgasm, or bring her to the edge of orgasm over and over and over again until she's a complete fucking quivering mess. Like, you don't let her orgasm. That's called edging. Bring her to the edge of orgasm, then say no. Then do it again. No, you don't get to come. Do it again. Nope, you still don't get to come. Do that for an hour. Jesus Christ. Like, your dick really isn't that special, but you've done a really good job here, bro. Again, opening up. You're incredibly fucking courageous. You took all of my advice so well, and then you realized how full of shit you were. How full of shit you were the first time when you were like, I've thrown it all away. I've lost all my progress. What's wrong with me? I'm a fucking loser. And now you're like, oh, wait, no, sorry. I'm actually 2 weeks clear from porn. It's all good. It turned out it was all good and I was just full of shit. And it's like, yeah, bro, that's all of us. Hey, when we're very emotional, me too, we're almost always just full of shit, dude. So really good job. Really, really, really good job. You probably have inspired a bunch of people. Thank you for that. And then on that same post, we had someone else comment. This was by a lady or a woman or a girl, a female, whatever you want to call them. I started seeing someone who told me he had to touch himself throughout our play session. Yeah, that's pretty common. Like, I used to have to do that as well, or I thought I had to do that to try and keep myself hard as well. Yeah, I used to be really terrified back when I first started working on all of this stuff. And I felt like if a woman ever saw that my penis wasn't fully hard, that she would think less of me, or that I would need to be ashamed, or that, you know, there was something wrong with me, blah, blah, blah. And so I would hide it too, and I would try and jerk off and keep myself hard. So yeah, I get that. I felt so bad. You go on to say, I felt so bad that I didn't turn him on. Yeah, it wasn't you. I think you already know that. I didn't think it was erectile dysfunction. I have been wanting to talk to him about it, but this video was posted in time to help me be more sensitive to the topic. I mean, first of all, props to you for being so open-minded and non-judgmental. And for any men listening, guys, I say this all the fucking time. I do so much content on this, God. I mean, look at this video on my channel, this one right here at the top. Women are actually really nice. And look at that cute thumbnail. There's just like a cute, sweet woman there. It's like, she's probably really nice. Guys, fucking hell. Women, for the most part, most women are really fucking nice and really empathetic. And they will handle things that you might be really stressed about, or feel a lot of shame about, or guilty about, or worried, or you're terrified of rejection. So many women will handle that with sensitivity, like this woman, literally saying, thank you. I'd like to be more sensitive to this topic. Thank you for posting this video. Look how fucking nice she is. Like, literally. She's like, I just felt bad. I felt bad. Like, I wanted to turn him on. I wanted him to have a good time. She literally wants this dude to have a good time. Is that not really fucking nice? And by the way, for any women listening, the vast majority of men are really fucking nice. Now, obviously, not every man and not every woman, duh, but the vast majority of people are actually pretty nice. So, to this woman, this lady, I would say, good on you for being so kind and nice about it. If you want to, yeah, you can talk to him about it if you want to. But I would bring it up from your point of view, because that's the only point of view that you actually know, rather than his point of view. So what I mean by that is, if you do want to talk to him, I wouldn't get in there and be like, so do you have erectile dysfunction? I watched this video on it. Does your dick not work? Is that what's going on? It's not because I'm ugly, right? It's because your dick doesn't work properly, right? Like, that often can bring up a lot of shame and defensiveness and like, I don't want to talk about this. Like, why'd you have to bring that up? Blah, blah, blah. So I would always come at it from the point of view of you and how you feel. And so you could say, hey, I want to talk to you about how I was feeling a little bit last time or how I'm feeling this time. Since you've started seeing each other, I'm assuming you're going to see each other, more than once or a couple of times or ongoing, maybe your girlfriend, boyfriend. Bring it up from your point of view. I feel a little bit funny after how we had sex last time. And I want you to know that I had fun. You're very attractive. I'm very attracted to you. But like, I noticed that you kept wanting to touch yourself. I just want to make sure. Are you attracted to me? And if you're not, that's okay. We can just go separate ways. I would not want you to date someone that you're not attracted to. So if you're not fully attracted to me, that's beautiful. Go find someone else that is attracted to me and I'm attracted to them. And then we can build something together. But I just want to know because, yeah, I'm overthinking it a little bit. I'm sort of feeling like it might be about me or I'm taking it personally. And I don't want to build a relationship with someone where I'm in my own head and I'm not able to communicate that. So this is me taking a leap of faith and trying to be vulnerable with you. Please be nice to me. Please don't attack me. Or if you do attack me, that's fine. I'll leave. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this up. Is it something that I'm not doing? Could I do something to be a little sexier for you? Like, is it me? Or are you just not attracted to me and we'll go separate ways? That's how I would start that conversation. Because really, that is the truth. Like, you can't know what he's thinking or feeling or going through. Like maybe it is erectile dysfunction. Maybe it's just nervousness. Maybe it's just a habit. Maybe just every time he's ever had sex with someone else, he touches himself throughout the session. Maybe it's not even erectile dysfunction. Maybe it has nothing to do with that. And he's like, no, I don't have erectile dysfunction. I just like to jerk my dick because it feels good. And you're turning me on so much that when I'm horny, I jerk my dick. This is something, funnily enough, that Imogen, my girlfriend, she does. Throughout every single time we will play, she's fucking adorable. She cannot go more than like 10 seconds without touching herself. Like ever. Like ever. Which is really cute and really adorable and very hot. And I see it as a hot, sexy thing that she gets so easily turned on that if I play with her body in any capacity, or if anyone makes out with her in any capacity for longer than like 10 or 20 seconds, her fingers just find their way down between her legs, like no matter what. I have to basically, and I do sometimes, I have to like handcuff her wrists above her head. And even then she'll bring both her hands down and I'll be like, no, put the hands back up. And she'll put them up and she'll go like, I'm sorry, sir. And then like, it's just her. Maybe this guy is exactly like that. We don't fucking know. Maybe he just gets so horny over you and he's so turned on by you that he can't help but touch his fucking dick. And for a lot of us men, especially, let's just say for a lot of people, we're better at touching ourselves than someone else is at touch. Like, where we know how to touch ourselves. We know how to masturbate because we've been doing it, most of us, for a lot of years or decades, right? It might be the same situation. Maybe it has nothing to do with anything negative or erectile dysfunction. Not that that's negative, but you are sort of feeling a little bit like, fuck, is it me? Like I felt bad. Is it that I didn't turn him on? Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's that you turned him on so fucking much that he couldn't help but touch himself. I don't know. That's my point. I don't know. So I would come to that conversation and only talk about yourself and how you're feeling and then ask questions. Because right now we're trying to mind read. Like, I don't know how he feels. I don't know why he touched his dick. Maybe it just feels good and that's why he touched his dick. Like, why does any animal touch their dick? Because it feels good. Why does any animal masturbate? It feels good. Maybe it's that. Or maybe it is erectile dysfunction. Maybe it is performance anxiety. Maybe it is like, fuck, I have to keep touching myself, otherwise I won't stay hard. And maybe it has nothing to do with porn. Maybe it's just that he's nervous. Maybe he drank a bit too much. Maybe he really wants to impress you. Just like I'm sure to some extent you want to, maybe impress isn't the right word, but maybe there is part of you that wants to impress him or you want him to feel good. I mean, there is a part of you that wants to impress him because you're literally saying, I want to turn him on. I want to be impressive to him. And so we're both feeling like men and women, we both feel the same things. We both have the same thoughts. We have the same insecurities. We have the same worries. You're worried that he won't find you pretty enough. He's probably worried that you won't think he's masculine enough. And so we can bridge that gap and extend that olive branch by having a conversation about it. You've already taken the first beautiful step of posting about this. Like, good job to you posting about this. This is really cool of you. But I would just talk to him next time you guys are cuddling. You can save it till after sex if you want to, because most people are pretty relaxed after sex. You're laying in bed, you've both come, or maybe one of you's come. You're laying in bed cuddling, and you're in that beautiful afterglow. You're kind of basking in that afterglow. You can talk about it then. Just be like, hey, I've just been kind of in my own head a little bit, and I've been like worrying that you don't find me pretty enough during sex. Like, do you find me attractive, and do I turn you on during sex? If not, we can go separate ways, or you can tell me some things I could do to turn you on more. Like, I'd love to work on this. Like, being a turn on, a lot of the time we take that as like a value judgment of ourselves. We go, shit, I didn't turn the person on, therefore I'm not a turn on, therefore I mustn't be attractive. And it's like, no, 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 no. Realize that turning someone on is also to do with skills a little bit. Like, if you just start doing something that he's really into, or if he starts doing something that you're really into, that will turn you on, obviously. And so there's a lot of skill involved in this too. And you can slowly improve at that, get better. But you guys could together write a sexual bucket list. So you could say to him, maybe you have this conversation. You say, do I turn you on? Is there something I could do better? Like, how you feeling? I notice you jerk off a lot. Like how come? You don't have to say how come, but you know what I mean. You start having this conversation. And he might say, no, I'm really into you. I just like to jerk off. Or, hey, yes, sometimes I do have a little bit of erectile dysfunction, so I like to keep it hard by myself. You're like, cool. Is there something that I could do for you and for myself during sex that would really turn you on? In other words, let's write a bucket list of all the crazy, kinky, cool, interesting, sexy, intimate things that we want to try during sex. And you write your own bucket list, you get him to write his own bucket list, and then you bring those lists together and you share each other's lists or share your list with each other. And then you see where the overlap is, or you see which ones you're both into, or you want to try and see what it feels like, and maybe you're curious. And then every time you guys meet, you try something different from your bucket list. And you might find just that alone, there you go. You're like, oh shit, I do have sexual abilities. I am a turn on. I don't have to take it personally if he's touching himself, because he might be touching himself because he finds you hot. Like, I don't know. But you have that bucket list and you can start improving your sexual skills. So that's a big one. I think a lot of people see sexual skills as something they can't improve. You either have it or you don't. And it's like, no, 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 no. I have gotten pretty decent at sex from practice by just trying a whole bunch of different stuff, by trying BDSM, trying some kink, trying different positions, trying oral sex, trying fingers, trying to make people square, trying butt plugs, just trying intimacy, trying to be more gentle and tender and loving, trying the opposite, trying to be a bit more passionate and all of that kind of stuff. And so you just practice these things, but really good job opening up about this already. But yeah, I would open up to him about this. That's the next step. That's your fun little challenge that you're allowed to explore if you want to, is can I be this open and honest with him? Like, I say this to my coaching clients all the time, men and women in my coaching program. I say, whatever you've just said to us or to me, why don't you say that to your partner or to the person that you're dating? Like, everything you just said, the way that you said it, just say that to them. Like, if you literally just copy pasted this shit to him, that would be a great place to start. Just be like, I feel like I didn't turn him on, or I feel like I'm not turning you on. I didn't think it was erectile dysfunction, but if it is, that's okay. I've been wanting to talk to you about this, but yeah, I watched this video on it actually by this like dating sex life coach guy, and he was talking about this stuff, and someone else was going through something similar. So yeah, I'm trying my best right now to be sensitive to the topic when I talk to you about it. Like, I'm trying really hard right now. Like, can we talk about this? Boom, there you go. Good job. So basically just everything you fucking wrote right here is perfect and ready to go. Just say that to him. I can't tell you how many thousands of times I've had this conversation with my coaching clients where they're like, I want to be sensitive and I want to talk to the person and I want to talk about this. And it's like, just everything you fucking said to us, just say to them. Literally start the conversation by saying, I care about you and I want to be kind to you and I want to be sensitive about this and I don't really know how to start and I feel like I don't even know what to say to you right now. I feel clumsy. I feel like a bit of an idiot, but I'm going to try it anyway because I like being honest and I'm practicing it. And then you just blurt out whatever it was that you said to us. So you've already done a really good job here. Beautiful stuff. I love it. And if you would like to, you're allowed to be this honest with him. And if he doesn't handle that well, that's okay. Not everybody is good at handling stuff. You know, he might have some shame or some guilt or some weirdness or whatever. Not everybody is good at handling things honestly, but I've noticed or I've found that people try really hard to be honest. And if you're vulnerable and honest first, I've found that most people, just like you, want to be sensitive to the topic. And so if you're scared to be honest, most people will want to be sensitive to that and they'll be kind of nice to you. All right, let's do one more. So this was on a video or a comment that a guy had left where he said that the dating apps were getting him a bit frustrated and depressed and down and all of that. And I gave him a whole bunch of advice, but one of the things that I suggested was that he grab a copy of my Play to Win video course. That's this course right here. And I bring this course up in basically every fucking video, don't I? Because I specifically poured everything I have learned over all of my self-improvement. You know, I even say that here on the page. Overcoming depression, losing 77 pounds, learned how to approach women, have had, I don't know, 100 or so threesomes at this point. And that's, if you care, that's 100 or so repeat threesomes. Like, it's not 100 women that I've had threesomes with. It's probably like, I don't know, 40 women, 30 women, something like that, with lots of repeat threesomes. I taught myself BDSM, relationship with Emmy for 6 years, dating Bronwyn, the girl that was seeing for 2 years, build a business, blah, blah, like all of that shit that I've done is in this Play to Win video course. Like, this is literally how I learned to do all of that, how I built that positive mindset, how I found success in all of those areas. And so I put all that in the Play to Win video course. That's literally why I made it. I wanted to make a course and a book, you know, it comes with a book that would explain everything I've done over the last like 15 years and just have it in one place. There it is. And so I bring it up a lot. And this guy said, I'm going to buy the course right now. I've put it off thinking, I'll wait till I'm ready, or nah, I'll be fine. Time to commit. Yeah, it's a funny thing, isn't it? It's like, I literally tell you guys and girls, I put everything that I have in my brain into this video course. I spent months and months and months making it as good as I possibly could. I poured my heart and soul into it. I then made it $1. Technically, it's pay by donation, so you can pay whatever you want. You can pay more if you want to, but you can even pay just $1 for it. And I made it like that so that people wouldn't make excuses. But it is funny that our brain still puts up excuses and says, you know, I'll do it when I'm ready, or nah, I'll be fine. I don't need to know. I'm going to take advice from this guy and listen to his YouTube channel and his podcast and his articles and all of that. But I won't listen to him when he says, hey, this is like the most important bit of content that you could ever take from me. And I've made it $1 to make sure you don't make any excuses in not getting it. And so, yeah, I've done the same thing, dude. It's not just you. I've had coaches and stuff that are like, hey, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. I'm telling you, buy my book. My book would help you. Here's a preview of the chapters. Here's why it's important. Here's specifically the pages and the chapters that would apply to you personally. Go and get the book. And then I'm like, yeah, I will. I'll do it later. And then when I get their book, I'm like, holy shit, why didn't I get the book earlier? Well, they told you to, but sometimes we're just, you know, we're busy. You're doing a lot. You know, you don't, or you might feel like you don't have time to go and read everything I recommend. You probably don't. You're probably busy kicking ass and taking names and working on stuff. So yeah, cool that you're grabbing the course. What I would suggest is what I say at the start of the course, which is pick a chapter, like pick any of the chapters and really start to apply it and go hard on it and learn it and put into practice what is in that chapter. Once you get decent with that chapter, then move on to the next chapter. It's very compressed. The whole Play to Win video course is literally everything I've learned over the last like 15 years. There's a lot of content in there, and I've compressed it so that like each fucking dot point or each sentence, if you took that one sentence, that would be enough to change your life. And so specifically go through really slowly through the course and put it into practice. Like, again, this is shit that's taken me about 15 years to learn. You're not going to just watch or read the course in like one sitting and go, cool, I've changed my mind. It's like, no, you might need to practice this for the next couple of years to get really good at some of this shit. So yeah, go through that course slowly. And anyone else that wants to buy it, you know where to find it. There's a link in the description below to that. You pay whatever you want for it. Pay $1 if you want to. All right, everybody, I appreciate all of you. Good job opening up. I said this in a previous video. I'm taking a little bit of a break from the comments, and the comments that I just read out, Cam, my good friend Cam, he goes through my YouTube comments and he picks out the ones that he thinks I can respond to and give you guys and girls some advice, or at least just celebrate your wins or any of that. So I'm not going to be going into the comments section and replying to everybody, but I promise you that Cam will pick out quite a lot of comments and I'll do videos on them. And obviously, if you want proper access to me and you feel like, shit, man, I'm trying to get Andy's attention or Cam's coaching or Andy's coaching, but they just didn't read my comment, because we're starting to get quite a few comments, especially on old videos. Probably get 20 new comments a day across the whole library of videos. So we're getting quite a lot of them. And if you feel like you want access to me or you want my opinion or my advice or whatever, just jump on one of those $200 coaching calls. Those are one per person. We can sit down for a couple of hours and I'll coach you and give you advice and all of that. Basically getting a little trial run for $200 of what the coaching program would be like. And obviously you're very welcome to come to the big coaching program if you would like that too. I'll leave a link in the description below to that. As always, ladies and gentlemen, go out there, crush those goals, and keep being courageous. You're all incredible warriors, and whatever the female version of a warrior is, I guess you're also just a warrior. I appreciate all of you for opening up. And I say this sometimes, but this comment here from this lady, I really, really, really admire you females who post on the channel and post comments and stuff like that, because this started out as a male self-improvement channel, and basically all I was ever really doing was giving advice to men. And these days the gender ratio is a lot more, it's tilting more towards women. There's obviously mostly men, but I think we're at 20% of the audience is women now. Yeah, I just checked on my YouTube back end. It's 19.5% are women. So big shout out to any women that post on here. I'm working on making this channel basically just talking to humans rather than to men only. But I realize that 80% of you are men. And so I will answer any questions that you have from any men or any women. I'm happy to talk about whatever. We obviously have a couple of women in the coaching program. There's a woman in the coaching program right now, and she's an absolute badass. So working on helping absolutely anyone. But big shout out to any of you women that leave comments. I think that's pretty fucking cool of you. And maybe one day this channel will be at 50% women, 50% men. That'd be pretty fucking dope. I don't care either way. I don't really care what the genders are. But I respect anyone who maybe isn't super well represented, but leaves a fucking comment. I think that's cool. So God bless all of you. You're all cool. I'm going to go have some fucking breakfast, because this is the third video that I have recorded this morning, and I'm a hungry, hungry little fucking boy. So much love to all of you. If you've been wanting an amazing, awesome, elite sex life, tons of threesomes, plenty of wild adventures, and great memories with awesome people, we would love to help you get there. Here's just a little bit of what our coaching clients have achieved in their time in the program. Renee had a threesome in just his second week of coaching, had a woman write him a love letter, and he went on to have sex with 12 women in just 12 weeks of coaching. Corky had his first threesome, slept with 7 amazing women, and made a ton of awesome memories with them. George and Power both had sex with 10 women each in their 12 weeks, had a bunch of wild adventures along the way. Join me and join them by clicking the coaching link in the description below.